Welcome back, everybody, to Auto Auction Rehabs, where we're working on the C10 muscle truck, getting parts in day by day, putting stuff together, finding out that we need something else. My goal is to get this thing started by the end of the week. I don't know, but I'm going to sure try. So let's take a look and see what we've got going on. I worked a lot today. And I didn't bring you along simply because, well, it's something that I did that probably would be done differently by somebody who knows how. Let's put it that way. Sort of like the monkey and the football kind of thing. And I knew that was going to be the case when I started. And I'm going to tell you what it is. It is this, the carrier bearing that had been on there for 50 years, I'm pretty darn sure. And I did get it off with heat, a lot of heat, a bearing puller, and more heat, and swearing, and more heat, and more tension on the puller. And finally we got down to about here. And then when we got down to about here, it slid off. So that took a good couple hours this morning, not knowing what I'm doing. It makes a big difference. And the other thing is too, that this drive shaft and the other half of it over here, this is just temporary. This is good enough for now, okay? Good enough for now. And by now, I mean to get me driving off this ramp out of the shop, maybe around the neighborhood a little bit, just so that I can run this engine that's been sitting for a year and a half. And that's basically where we are. So parts are trickling in. This, I had to order. The reason this is sitting up on here is because I had to order new seals for here. I ruined the first one. So I ordered a couple more, and I'm going to try, when I'm less frustrated tomorrow, to put that all back together. So I will tap that in. I have this here that I'm using to put on the seal, and then I was tapping on the edges of this. Now I think what I'm going to do this next time is I'm going to put the seal in front of this, and I'm going to put a piece of wood behind this, and I'm going to tap on the wood so it drives it in evenly. I don't know. I'm hoping that works. I got a couple of hangers hung for the exhaust, okay? These are in the original spots. They're not tightened down. They're just in there. I don't know that this one's going to work this way. I think I may have to turn it this way, in which case only one bolt will be holding it up, but that's the way it was before too. So I can always run a weld on there if I need to. And speaking of exhaust, let me put you guys down over here and we'll talk about exhaust. And let's see, bring you guys down a little bit here. There we go. All right, so header, collector, flange, and reducer. And from there over to about here is 30 inches. And that's going to be the 2.5 inch pipe, 30 inches from the reducer. And then these came off of the exhaust that was on here, and 30 inches will put me about here. And these turn downs arrived today, and that's going to be it. Now I'm trying to decide whether I want the turn down or turn out. I'm thinking probably turn down. I was hoping there would be more of an angle to that, but there isn't, so there's not much I can do. And then I might put another hanger here and here, because these mufflers, and the reason I'm using these mufflers is because they're MagnaFlows, and they're fairly expensive, and they look like they're fairly new to the truck when I got it. I was going to use those for an engine run stand and just get new stuff. But as this build is going on and on and on, the budget is going up and up and up and up. So I'm starting to use some parts that I have rather than paying for more stuff. So that's where we are with that. What else have we got going on under here? Got to get that seal in. Oh, here's another cool thing. Let me see if I can reach it. All right. What we have here is a transmission speedometer port plug. And this is going to go right in here. Because this does not have a speedometer gear in it. And I didn't care because I want to go with a digital dash. But I haven't got that yet. So for now, I'll just run without a speedometer. I'll turn my phone on and use the GPS if I need to do that. But shoot, look at that, man. That's B&M. That's high performance racing products. That's going to add 20, 25 horsepower. I mean, easy, easy. All right, let's go top side and see what we've got going on up there. We'll bring this bad boy down. I don't always lock it for safety, and of course this time I did. Let me put you guys down over here while I bring this to the level we need to be at. All right, let's take a look, see what we got. So today I worked on putting the OG metal oil pressure line back in. I took the plug out that the builder had put in there, put the OG metal line oil sending unit. No, that's the oil pressure line going to the gauge under the dash. Man, when they leak, they leak. But you know what? That's what I have to do for now. I wasn't paying big money for gauges when I'm going to be buying new gauges anyway. The shift linkage for the transmission, I was working on that, but I got to look at some pictures to make sure that I've got the spacing correctly in there. There's 3 spacers, and I want to make sure I got them the right way around. Dipstick tube, I had to put that in after I'd put the headers on. That was a pain. I'm going to tell you right now, that was a pain. I had bought a fancy transmission dipstick. I'll show it to you, actually. It's right over here. I bought this transmission dipstick. And let me tell you, fellas, if you're going to buy one of these, you got to make sure that it's right above your transmission. Because I'm telling you, when there's a bend to this, it does not go through the tubing. No, it doesn't. It doesn't work that great. So I've got the pulley system set up here. I have the chrome for here and here. Removing this also removes the ground and the bolt down for the water lines. But I don't know that that's going to be significant. So I'm going to try on the chrome bits and see how that does, see how it looks. I need to put a water temperature sending unit in. Plugs and hook up the wires. Put the fan on. I cleaned the fan today. What else did I clean? Oh, I cleaned up the drive shaft. I need to siphon out the rest of the old fuel that's in there. I've got 3 gallons of new fuel that will get me at least started and run for a few minutes. Carb, of course, needs to go back on, and I need to hook up the linkage. There is no kickdown linkage on that carburetor or transmission. Or it might be on the carburetor, but there's not on the transmission. It says if you hook it up, you're going to void your warranty. So it's been blocked off. I thought with all the stuff that I got in today that I had received the brackets for the power steering pump, but they didn't come in. So that and the new power steering hoses is a project for not tomorrow, because I'm going to be going to IAA Auto Auctions. So maybe when I come home, and maybe when the next day arrives. We'll have to see. So these are Hedman headers, made in USA. They bolted up real nice to these Vortec heads, and I only had to clearance 1 tube. I have to move around a brake line that it looked kind of odd to begin with, and I figured I'd have to move that. But it was in the area where the brake lines were hitting the exhaust. It was right on the exhaust with the stock exhaust manifolds, and I don't know how they just didn't boil all the brake fluid in there. So I left it the way it was, thinking, okay, once I put the new engine in with the headers, I'll have to see where we are with it. And where we are is I have to move it. So we've got the Holley 650, I believe. I believe it's a 650. And it will be going back on once I get everything topside done. And the radiator, I was going to paint that black, but you know what? There is so much black under the hood, and as a matter of fact, I've just painted the underside of the hood black using the underhood black paint. And I think I've decided I'm going to leave it the aluminum. The aluminum look is going to be just fine, even though it has a big dent in it. I thought Summit might have sent me a bad radiator, but looking at the box, it was damaged. I had saved the box for some reason, and the box does have damage to it, so it probably got damaged during shipping. And it's been so long, they'll laugh at me if I call them and say, hey, can you replace this? No, it's been a year. So that's the only problem with ordering parts way in advance so that you have everything ready for when you need it, is that if you open the box and find something wrong, you can't do much about it. So anyway, plugs, wires, carburetor, power steering system, bolt the fan onto the water pump, put the chrome on the alternator, put the plugs in, of course. Plumb the fuel line to the carburetor with the flexible line. I just need to put the carb on and see where I want to cut it so that the angle is good for the flexible tubing. And then we're ready to start it up once we got everything underneath done. And I'm hoping tomorrow's not going to get much done, depending on when I get home, but I'm hoping within 2 days all this stuff is done. I've drained the old fuel out, put new fuel in, and we can start this bad boy up. I am so looking forward to it. I'm really excited. I thank you guys so much for watching. That's basically just a little update. When we come back for the next video, I'll set you guys up and put you in fast motion, and we'll take off the air conditioning unit over here and do all the things topside that I was talking about. Maybe take you underneath and do the things that I had mentioned that we were going to do underneath there. If anybody needs an air conditioning unit, they're trying to build a truck and use vintage stuff. This is a 70 C10. It's a original air conditioning truck. If there's somebody out there that needs it, I've got the compressor, I've got all the parts. If you want it, you can have it. It was holding pressure, which actually quite surprised me. When I started taking it apart, I had a oh shoot. There was still some refrigerant in there. I never did get the compressor to go on, and that's probably because the refrigerant was very low. Anyway, somebody wants that, you can have it. All you have to do is come pick it up. Send me a message, drop me a line down below. Let me know you're interested in it. We'll get back and forth via email, and you can have it. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, share with your friends. I appreciate it. Have a great day, everybody. Look forward to seeing you again very soon on the next one.